Hello and welcome to Hey Clarity. I'm your host, Lindsay, and today we are opening the Akashic Records on money. So I put together a poll on Instagram in my stories and asked everyone to share their questions that they have around money. So the questions that we're going to be asking today are, foundational question as always, what is money from the Akashic Records perspective? What is at the root of the power of money? Why do we value money? What is the most valuable perspective we can have on money to support our overall well-being? Why is it easy for some to make lots of money and hard for others? Which currency has the most secrets and which is the most pure? How can we best navigate taxes and debt? How can we separate emotions from money? How can we position ourselves to allow money into our lives with ease? And then lastly, what's the most important message we need to know about money? So I opened the Akashic Records on money, said the opening prayer prior to hitting record. We are in the Akashic Records of money right now. So we're going to start with the first question. What is money from the Akashic Records perspective? They're saying material form of value, material source of value. And they're showing me like a clump of grass, like really green grass growing, but it's not like in a field. It's like in a clump. It's like in a circle. Why are you showing me a clump of grass in a circle to answer the question, what is money? Oof, they're just like giving all the like the needs for money, the emotionality attached to money, and they're like this clump, and this clump is exclusive, and they're showing like a guy like he's got this clump of grass and he's like, this is mine, like you can't have any. It's interesting that that's like right at the beginning, asking what is money before getting into the other questions. So one more time, being clear, what is money? They're saying like grow money, like you grow money. Most valuable, make it the most valuable. The grass is greener, like on the other side of like more money, like green money. Okay, but like foundational question, what is money? Material forms of value created by people, created by humans. Material created forms based a foundation. They're saying like wealth, and then the word wealth is like blending into the word like health, but they're saying that's false, that wealth is not. They're saying like health is health, and there's like the value of a healthy life and a lifestyle, but they're saying like wealth, a wealthy lifestyle, like these are separate things, and they don't want to put them together. Like they're jumping right into like our drama with the word money. So like kind of like skipping over this like foundational question, which is interesting because I understand it's a loaded topic. So I think that's what they're trying to convey at the very beginning, is just our like what is valuable is what they're saying. Like what is valuable to you? Like aside from like the bare necessities. Let's see. What is money? They're showing this open space, like as if I'm in like an industrial building, and there's like this cleared out like office space, and it's just very like bare bones, like open space. It's like I can hear my voice echoing to it. They're just like, it's open. It's like these empty open spaces. And then it's like the transition of like, there's this open empty space, this material space, and then I fill it with stuff. Like I'm filling it with like office stuff, like tables and chairs and like all the things that go into an office. And so it's like you make it an office. Like it's just a space, and then you make it an office, or you make it a store, or you make it a this. So they're just like money is this like material, whatever it's made out of, this mix of like papers and cottons and linens and fabrics and plastics. Like they're saying like you make this material thing, and then you give it its value and its meaning, right? So it's like you fill it with what you want. You make it mean what you want. We've made this thing mean all the things that it means. Like we've made it what it is. Like they're kind of like, it does not exist in like the natural world. Like it is created. And so they're like, you know, fruit on a tree, like grows from a tree, and you can grab it and you can eat it. And it's like, like the tree made that for free, right? They're actually like free abundance. Like abundance is free. And then it's like the thing between like the tree made the fruit, you grab it and you take a bite out of it and you're like I'm nourished by this food. And then it's like there's like another hand between you grabbing the fruit, and it's like putting like $1, like $5 or $10 between you and the tree and the fruit. And it's just like what? It's almost like, why is that there? Like that is, it's like kind of unnecessary, right? They're saying like the bare necessities, right, are like the most value. And it's almost like this middleman, like money was put as like a middleman to like the things that we need. And they're saying like desires and convenience and like safety, security, like we've added all the value to this material form, they're saying. These material forms of value. Okay. Anything else around what is money? They're calling it like an illustration. An illustration like turned into material forms. These ideas, these ideals, these values projected onto the mind, put into paper, right? Okay, so they're actually even saying like even the visuals on the money, like that's designed, right? There's the visuals of like a face of a you know, prominent person in the culture of that history. And it's like, it's just, they're just showing like this, you know, the currency exchange, like from place to place, and other places have different values of money and, you know, the amounts and stuff. And it's just so, they're saying like there's such a collision of values in this, like no bare necessities, like not a bare necessity in this thing that's not a bare necessity. But we've created it to be that. But they're saying in truth, money is a value to be created for it. Like it's created for this concept of value. Okay. What is at the root of the power of money? What is at the root of the power of money? The faces, the recognition, it's the faces of people. They're saying like the contributions to the world, the history, like the historical references. So like even down to like these famous public figures, their faces on the money, and like what that like represents and translates into your mind, like the numbers, like the design. There's so much about like what they're saying, like the quality of the, what is that? The quality of the perception of it is what they're saying. So the power behind it is this idea of like quality, these ideas, these ideals of value, power, value, the value of money, powerful sources, resources. I'm feeling like there's a feeling of just like, yes, like the figures on the money, the faces on the money, having this like political power. Like I'm getting like, were they kings and queens, like all the different figures and what they represented throughout history being printed in the money. And so it's like that's meant to be this like hierarchical idea of like something that we're striving and we're reaching for in the money. The power, like the political power, if it's like a politician of some sort, or the royalty, they're saying royalty. And it's like the money, like the illustrations on the money and like the details are like, there's something about it that makes your mind reference gold, right? So like the historical, like metal elements of like currency exchange. So it's like if there's a queen or a king on a bill, you associate that bill with royalty, this hierarchical power. So that's at the root of it, like historically, like the figures and what they've represented of like this thing that we're like striving for. Why do we value money? Why do we value money? Why do we value it? Needs to be met every day. The structures, the systems in place, the systems in a place, different places, different systems, different parties. They're like political parties, ideas, values. It's like in some places money's valued more than other places. And so that I'm getting like this really clear feeling of just like, if you don't want the like this like force fields of like money like bearing down on you and like taking over like the quality of your life, they're like, move to a place where like money is not as maybe accessible, and so communities thrive and build more easily without it. They're more I'm getting like peaceful and like abundant in connecting with the resources of the land, like finding water, finding food, building, like they're just like they're saying like there could be no pressure at all depending on where you live. So it's like they're showing like someone in a place where like money is like there's like, oh, people believe, oh, the money is the root of all evil, right? So that's a consciousness around money, and there's a place and personalities that believe in that, right? And then there's like the crushing weight of like, I can't survive, like cost of living, lifestyle, like this heavy cement block of like money is just always weighing you down. And then there's places where there isn't much access to physical money, and so they're kind of saying there's like a bigger sense of freedom from that crushing weight. And they're saying like in those places where it's like living the fruits of labor, right? The fruits of your hard work. You have to put your blood, sweat, and tears into the land to get the fruits of your labor, and you tend to the land, and then the harvest is your money, your value, because you were able to, they're saying nutrition and nutrients, and maybe they're even saying like, the cost of living in some places is higher, in some places is lower. And so like the mentality and your sense of freedom has a lot to do with your value of money. And different places have different consciousnesses, different belief systems, different ideals, different values around money. And they're saying like, find the one that works for you, find the place that works for you, find the belief system that suits you and like your quality of living. They're saying your honest quality of living. What is the most valuable perspective we can have on money to support our overall well-being? And getting, they're challenging the belief system that many of us might have around like life or death, that like money or no money equals life or death. So they're like, money equals life, no money equals death. And they're going like, this is how we think. And so they want us to challenge the root of that perspective. They're saying there are other ways for needs to be met, and it requires getting creative, thinking, right? They're like outside the box, like step out of the box of like money is the only way to survive. Money is life or death. And they're like, step out. They're saying, look around you, look outside, like look at the world, like look outside your world. And I mean, they're really showing like, they're saying like forest, they're like rainforest, they're saying fields, flowers, fruit, food, animals. They're like the kingdom of the world. They're like, is not people. The kingdom of the world is like the plants and the animals, and they're like, you're part of it, like people are part of it, but like this, like the royalty, the kingdom, like they're showing someone who is royal, still dressed in gold, but they're like out in like this lush, vibrant environment of like rainforest, forest, like jungle. Like there's so much vibrancy in life. There's so much food. I'm getting medicine, plant medicine. Like, they're just like out of touch with reality. They're saying like, you have succumbed to this material reality. You have succumbed, and they're saying you succumb to the suppression and the oppression of this material reality in this little concrete box, right? They're like often in like cities. And it's like the fruits of labor are like everywhere. But it requires a different type of effort and hard work. And getting it's more, there's mental, there's more physical, right? That effort. They're really showing just like this, like tending to the land and getting your food. Okay, we are going in another direction. Not really, but I want to reel it in a little bit. What is the most valuable perspective we can have on money to support our overall well-being? How can we meet our needs without it? If you feel the crushing pressure of it all the time, because that's not good for you, right? That like crushing weight of the idea of money is just like, they're saying dangerous minds around money. This life or death thinking thinking is like, they're saying not necessary, like bare necessities. Like they're like, yes, like it has value. Like you've created this long held belief system around the value of it. And there are other ways. Like you're breathing, you can find water, you can find food, like all these things that actually like keep you living can be free, you know, if you need them to be. Okay. Why is it easy for some to make lots of money and hard for others? Why is it easy for some to make lots of money and hard for others? Why is it easy for some to make money? They're saying strong power. And they're giving the word desperation. And they're showing someone like there's like a tug of war. There's a rope. And there's someone on one end and they're pulling really, really hard. But I don't see anybody on the other end. But they're exerting all of this effort, pulling this rope towards them. Like pulling so hard and like all this effort. I don't see anyone on the other end. Why is that the visual for why it's easy for some to make lots of money and hard for others? They're just saying desperation. I'm feeling like they're showing me that I'm getting this feeling of like the person who's pulling really hard is someone who actually has like lots of money and they're like aggressively pulling on it and holding on to it and like, I don't know, there's something desperate. It's like they have so much money and they're holding on to all of it. And it's like they're saying it's like not in circulation. Like it's not in circulation because this person is so desperately holding on to this money, aggressively holding on to the money. They're like, instead of like letting some of it go and like, they're saying distribution of wealth. It feels so much like the circulation of it is like really like blocked and like held up in all these places. And so if the people desperately hogging it, holding on to it, like allowed to like distribute the wealth and like circulate it back, like I'm just feeling like I'm getting the sense that like there would be way more of a balance of like financial comfort and stability and security. It's really held up like aggressively by like desperate people to hold on to it. I'm gonna go a little bit further and like who are the people, like who are these people, or like why are they desperately holding on to it? Whoa. What? Why are they desperately holding on to it? One more time. The reason I said whoa is because they said fear of God. And I'm like, it's pretty intense. They have a subconscious fear of God. And there's something like wealth and opulence and abundance is like, I am good person, heaven. Like I can buy my way to heaven. But I'm getting that like maybe there's like a lot of like underlying stuff that they don't feel great about. And so they do this to kind of like hold on to and fill this void. And they're like, well, I'm so successful. Like, I did good. I've achieved all of this. So like, I'm going to get into heaven. Like, I don't know. That is some real shit. Okay. One more time. Why is it easy for some to make lots of money and hard for others? I'm just getting hogged. Like, they're hogging money. Like the wealthiest people of the world are like hogging it. And I'm getting like they're out of touch. They're so far out of touch with like reality. And it's like there's maybe this, again, this life or death. Like, I have money, life, and it's like life, good, God, heaven, and then it's like a poor, death, like a hell, devil. Like there's good and bad. Like, if you don't have money, like bad, like you didn't do well, like you fucked up and whatever. And then if you have lots of money, like you're good. But I'm just getting that like at the root of like many people who have lots of like money, they're saying unnecessarily, like they're really hiding. There's like hidden secrets of like, I'm getting like wrongdoings or like a bad person like underneath it all. And so there's this like desperate sense of like, if I can look like I'm doing really great, if I can, and they're kind of showing like, okay, like, you know, I'm going to invest in this company to make myself look good. But it's like, I don't know. This is very interesting. It seems to be like a personality type of like maybe the wealthiest people in the world. But I'm just getting that like, you know, money is being hogged. And I'm getting that like they would feel better and like the world would, you know, they're kind of saying like have a chance to be more supportive for like the cost of living and lifestyles kind of globally if this money were actually circulating back. And they're just like, as long as you value money, like the people who hog it, this might continue unless like their mindsets can shift, unless they can like overcome their fear of God and kind of like be at peace in the world and with themselves. And when they feel the feeling of like how liberating and incredible it feels to like to volunteer, to like donate their money, to give to like all these charities, to just like support like everyday people and like the impoverished, and they're just like, oh, they would feel just so good if they just circulated back that money. But part of them like hogging this money is because they have these like insecurities, these like personal insecurities around like hidden secrets of feeling like a bad person, maybe from things that they've done, maybe the things that they perceive as bad, who knows. But I'm getting that there's like a whole like psychological like personal thing behind like the wealthiest people in the world. Like, we have to hold on to this, like almost like it's my ticket. It's like my ticket to heaven. It's my ticket to like a good person. Like, if I have all of this, it means I did good. Like, I'm doing well. I'm doing good in the world. And they're like, not necessarily. Like, what's under the rug? You know? So interesting. Which currency has the most secrets? This was an interesting question. Let's see. Which currency has the most secrets? Right. Yeah, most secrets. They're saying all of them. Like, they're just saying the handling of like physical bills and coins. They're like, because it passes through so many hands, like it actually, like all the money has lots of secrets. And so they're like, there's like tangible energy on the money that you're holding. And like, that's why you might feel kind of ick around money. Like, not only like, oh, it's dirty, like, yeah, it's passed through a lot of hands, but like also like, what were those hands doing when they were exchanging money? You know, the physical, like energetic vibration of the person when they were passing this money. You know, it's like, you know, did someone give someone, you know, pass the money to them, like they were so angry about something, or someone passed something to someone and they were being deceptive about something. So it's like yeah, all these like tangible things, they're passing through thousands and millions of hands. And so they're saying like the most secrets, they're just saying like the tangible money. So all currencies that are physical, tangible, right? Not exchanging things through technology, but the physical, tangible material money all has hidden secrets. So which is the most pure? Which currency is the most pure? The electronic. And they're saying, and also like the energy that goes through your computer and your devices, like it's not necessarily more pure, right? It's like, what's the intention behind you sending that money through your phone, through your computer? They are referencing like crypto. They're saying like there is energy in the electricity, and there's energy in the material form of paper money and metal coins and things like that. So they're saying like it's not necessarily like less, it's not necessarily more pure. So what else do the records have to say about that? About like the purity of money? They're showing like someone exchanging like two people with smiles on their faces. Like I'm seeing like it depends on like when you're passing the money. Like if you're passing money to a cashier, do you smile at them and they smile at you? Okay, then you put some purity, some intention behind that exchange. And they're saying like there's that exchange, right? Like you're at the coffee shop and maybe you exchange dollars, etc. There, there's like more of like an innocence and an appreciation and a gratitude, and whatever that interaction is gets kind of imprinted on the money. They're also showing the example of like somebody trading a cow for a service, or they're showing like those exchanges, and the two people have a smile on their faces, like you're gonna now have milk and I'm gonna help build this part of your home, right? And it's just like, yes, like we're taking care of each other, right? And so the idea of like bartering, right? So it's really like the purity is more behind the intention of the exchange and what's happening in the moment of the exchange. And because there are millions of exchanges and there's millions of people exchanging this energy electronically or physically all the time, there's kind of like, they're kind of saying there's like all secrets, like there's all and like no hidden secrets. Like they're like, there's no hidden secrets because it's all secrets. It's like maybe they're kind of crossing out the word secrets. There's kind of like, there's like no such thing as secrets. Like the ick and the energy is in the exchange. Like it's there because of all the hands that have touched it, or whatever is happening in the exchange, like immediately as you're doing it. How can we best navigate taxes and debt? Oh, it's interesting. Let's see. What do the Akashic Records have to say about that? And this was also referencing specifically for like spiritual practitioners. So I'm going to see if they have like, if it's just a nice general answer for everybody, or if there is something different around spiritual practitioners. How can we best navigate taxes and debt? They're kind of like, get serious about it if you play the game. Subscribe. Like if you are subscribing to these structures and these systems, you're playing that game. You're playing a game. You're playing the game. So they're kind of saying, play the game. They're also saying, ask for help. For levity, like being honest with like, I'm getting like financial advisors, like your bank, like talking with, they're saying like professionals in the world of banks and finances, and asking Like, this is the reality of my lifestyle and this is what I'm working with it. What do you suggest? Because they're saying, like, they're going to open you up to like maybe government programs or some sort of relief, some sort of systemic relief. And so it's almost like play the game, or like find a place that's not playing the game. Like, again, they're kind of saying like different places have different viewpoints and perspectives on the value of money versus like the quality of living and the, you know, the understanding the cost of living in different places. And so they're saying like it is a challenge, and it's also the beauty of having so many different currency exchanges throughout the world and so many different political viewpoints and consciousnesses in other places in the world. So it's like, think about your financial situation, and like they're like kind of two extremes. Like, where in the world does your they're kind of saying like a quick view, doing like a quick view on like cost of living, and like where in the world do you like can you get the comfortability and the security that you need like for cost of living, right? So they are saying like it's an open world. And so if you have to do the research to find out where the way you live can be done, it might be international, it might be somewhere else in the world. But they're like, you're playing a game, like you're playing the game, and you were born into the game, right? So they're like, it's not like there's like, it's not easy. Like, it's not easy to like make those shifts and changes, but they're like, if you're destitute, like if you're desperate, if you're really struggling, if like your viewpoint again with this money is like, if you don't see money as life and you keep seeing like money as like, you know, this death and I'm doing bad and I'm a bad person and I'm poor and I'm gonna die and all, like if you just keep going like in that direction around money, then they're like that is gonna be like a wake-up call for you. Like if money makes you feel like you're dying or you want to die or you can't handle the thought of money, then it's crushing you, and maybe where you live isn't working for you, and there's another place to live where the value of money is not like, they're saying, worshiped like God or the devil. So they're saying like our belief systems around money are very important, and you might have to find a place that shares your belief systems around money, because they're showing like make changes, like you can make changes to your lifestyle, and like they're showing you like cutting corners and like doing all these things to like try and like fit in the mold, again, to like playing the game. But they're also just saying like ask for help, like get real, be real, like do the best you can. But if you're in a system where you're playing the game and like you have to, you know, pay a certain amount of taxes, if you're struggling with a certain amount of debt, I'm getting like, you know, where can you go to like catch up or like find relief? And they're like, ask for help. Like there are financial services and like there's government relief, and like ask for help. And if you're not asking for help, then you don't even know if you can get help. You don't even know if you can get it. They also just said community support, and like telling your friends, telling your family, like, hey, I'm really struggling with this. And it's like, if you're like really like destitute and like having a hard time, like people who are, they're saying like, I got it, I can get it for you. Like people who are like comfortable and doing okay, I'm getting like, maybe it's a loan or maybe it's a gift, you know, people will like give you what you need, but like you also have to like if you're in a spot where like you have to like be real and like tell people that you're really struggling. They're kind of like, you know, don't struggle alone around like money, because like we all have the same experience around money. They're not saying the same, they're saying similar, like similar experiences, similar fears, similar hopes, similar desires, similar dreams. Cost of living, they keep saying cost of living, lifestyle. Like, where can you go? Like, what can you do? Like, yeah. So in getting specific, like, how can we best navigate taxes and debt? Let's just answer that question as far as like for the spiritual practitioner. They're saying spiritual work is really hard work. In and of itself. And those like understandings around like valuing money and valuing quality of life and health and freedom, well-being, community connections, creativity, things like that, because it's more connected with like the natural abundance, it always comes with this conflict with the structures and these concrete boxes of like playing the game. So it's like there's more of the clear understanding and the belief systems around the abundance of the world. And so it's like once you get a taste of that, they're like, once you get a little taste of that, it's really hard to like function in this box, this concrete box. And so I think they're leaning towards the like, okay, like figure out how to play the game within the systems and the structures, ask for the financial help, like look into debt relief programs, things like that. And then they're saying, and also like you might be pushed towards more of a calling of moving to other places where those values are shared. So again, with this crushing like the life, death, money, life, no money, death, and it's like there's this straight line in between where it's just like the earth is so abundant, like the planet's so abundant, like like right through, woo, like just like the jungle and like this queen in the jungle, this king in the jungle, and there's just like all these riches. And they're even saying like kind of like now more than ever, like there's so much awareness of like plants, medicine, and plants for like food and health and like all this well-being. So they're kind of saying you might need to like find your place. Like if you can't stand, if you can no longer handle the cost of living where you are, consider doing the research and like moving to a place that has different values of money and living. How can we separate emotions from money? How can we separate emotions from money? Reminding yourself on a regular basis that we as people, as humans, we have given this value, and we can choose to continue to give it value, or we can choose to lessen its value from an emotionality perspective. So they're kind of like, do you need to like look at a bill, or do you need to look at coins and stare at it and pay attention to all the thoughts and feelings that are coming up while you're staring at it? And they're like, write down everything that's coming to mind while you're looking at this money. What's coming to mind? Write it down so that you can see what is going on in your mind around money. How does it make you feel? What thoughts are coming up? What memories are coming up? Are there certain people that are coming up? Everything. They're just like, you might need to take some time with this because it's loaded, right? It's like lifetimes of our values, our value perspectives around money. So write it down and then look at it. And then check in with yourself, read them, and you can say, is this true? And maybe if it's true, you put a check mark. Is this true? And then you're like, nope, that's not true, put an X. And then look at the things when you're done. It's like separate what is true to you now and what is not true, what was just something that was in your subconscious that you wrote down. And the thing that you put a check mark, what is true, they're kind of saying like bare minimums. Like bare minimums around your values. More money, no more money. So then they're like, ooh, okay. So then they're like, now, imagine, put yourself in, or maybe you're already in the place of having lots and lots of money, right? How do you feel about it? How do you feel? What do you feel around having lots and lots of money? What are those things? What's the quality of your life like when you have lots and lots of money? And then they're saying, and then in contrast, imagine that you have nothing. What are your fears? What are you struggling with? Or maybe you do have nothing. Wherever you're at, what is going on with the having nothing? And then they're saying the feelings, separating the feelings and seeing them written out in written words, and then focusing on the feelings of why you feel good. And then they're like, what are other things that give you those good feelings? What are other things that give you those feelings around having lots of money? And they're even showing maybe there are some like not great words in having lots of money. Like you might look in there and be like, oh, like, you know, I'm greedy, I'm isolated, whatever, like having lots of money, like whatever the words are. And then they're like, oh, you go into like not having a lot of money, and like maybe the word freedom is in not having money. Like maybe, like they're kind of saying freedom can be in both, right? So they're like, you might find words that you don't expect to belong in the having and the not having, but they just want you to like sit with yourself and your relationship around money and like get through the feelings. Like, what are the feelings? Write them down. Don't think about it. Don't judge it. Just like write them down. So that's literally separating your emotions from money by writing it all down. They're having you write it, list it, the contrasts, and like separating it. And they're just reminding you, like, you give it the emotionality, like you give it the value. We have conditioned ourselves to give it this value, to give it this emotionality and the mentality and the perspective around the value of money. Okay. How can we position ourselves to allow money into our lives with ease? How can we position ourselves to allow money into our lives with ease? How can we position ourselves? They're saying it's not the only thing that makes life great. It's not the only thing that gives you what you need. It's one way, it's one tool, it's one resource that can give you things that you need. And there are other ways to get your needs met, to get your desires met, to feel fulfilled, to feel accomplished and achieved. There are other ways, there are other sources and resources of that level of abundance. It isn't, I'm just getting like when we put so much pressure on this little tiny thing, it breaks. And I'm not saying that money is this tiny thing, but they're like, when you put everything into this one thing, there's so much pressure on it. They're like lasers and zeroed in, and you start to hate it. And there's something about like, if you hate it, like this thing that you hate, like energetically, you're going to repel it, because it's like you, like everything in your being is like, fuck you, money. Like, I can't have you, then like, fuck you. And so like your energy is like, okay, well, fuck you, money. Like, and then money's going to back off. Like money's not, there's not a love for money. There's not, and I'm just saying like, there's not an openness to receive the money, because you're just like subconsciously, you're like, I fucking hate you. Like I can never have you. And like, you suck. And so you're glaring at money. And so like that is like energetically going to be repelled from you. Interesting. trying again. So that's a do not. How can we position ourselves to allow money into our lives with ease? They're like, do not pressure yourself. Do not put pressure on yourself. Don't put pressure on ourselves. That's the only thing that brings us happiness, love, enjoyment, freedom, joy, convenience, safety, security, prosperity, adventure, exploration. They're saying it's a free world. Your world is free. And they're going back to that earlier image of someone going up to a fruit tree, picking the fruit, and another hand puts $1 in between. And it's like, why? Why is that money there? Like, I just had this exchange with this tree. I'm looking at this beautiful tree. I love this beautiful tree. This beautiful tree made fruit. I'm about to pick it and I'm about to eat it. Why the fuck is there $1 bill in the middle there? So they're just like perspectives, right? It's all about our perspectives. And it's like, yes, like you've created a world valuing money. And therefore you are playing a game. You are playing the games. And if where you live, you have succumbed, you feel the oppression, the suppression, the crushing concrete of money, they're like, then like, of course you're gonna glare at it and be like, I hate you, money. You know, this thing that makes your life hard, as opposed to like other ways and other things to have an easier life. So yes, this structure, this system has a long-held, long-term belief system that is ingrained into society. It's ingrained into humanity of being the most important thing of value. However, it is not. And they're showing the relationship with that tree giving you fruit, and they're showing the fruit sparkling in gold and the tree sparkling in gold and the land sparkling in gold. They're like, that is a future lifestyle to value. And then they showed like that hand with the $1 bill like in the middle, and like you slapping that out, like, get that fucking money out of my face. Get that fucking money out of my face when I'm trying to enjoy this apple from this tree for free. And I love this tree, and I'm gonna chill under this tree, and it's gonna give me shade. Like, they're giving me this whole thing of just like, and this is a reciprocal relationship, especially if that's my tree and I care for that tree and I tend to the soil. There's an appreciation for that tree, and it's giving me fruit. It's bearing fruit. I like the reciprocity of that abundance. So one more time, I want to make sure we get this answered. How can we position ourselves to allow money into our lives with ease? Abundance is all over the world. You choose to be prosperous, abundant financially, with or without physical money, with or without money. Yes, playing a game, playing the game, choosing to play the game. They're also saying it's your life. You choose your life. You choose your journey. You choose where you live, the people, the places, all of that. And so they're saying like, if you need to explore like the movement of money, then maybe you need to move. If you need to explore like the reciprocity of money, like you need to move. There's something about movement and reciprocity. So like you're getting into the flow, like, you know, getting into the flow of receiving money. And they're showing a cash register. Someone is at the cash register working. People are coming up, buying things, trading, right? Like, I'm going to give you money. I'm going to give you the thing. And like, you have this cash register and like the flow of money, right? So they're kind of saying like the flow of money requires like an interaction between people and movement and place. people, places, movement, exchange, currency exchange. What's the currency? Where's the place? Who are the people? And it's like bingo. Like you have to choose the right people and places for the like reciprocity, right? So now they're showing like you go up to a tree and the soil is really dry and it's not making fruit. So you're not going to eat. So where is their like movement? Where is there like healthy soil? Like where can you have this reciprocity? Where can you have this exchange of currency or needs to be met? Right? Where can you easily receive your food, water, shelter, clothing, whatever exchanges of products and services that you desire, that you want, that you need for your lifestyle? And I'm kind of getting like almost like regardless of cost of living, like are you wealthy in your like in your lifestyle, in your living? Okay. Last question. What's the most important message we need to know about money? They're showing like how fucked up it is that like all of this money from these like wealthy people, I'm getting chills up my legs, and like governments, it's like going into technology. It's going into like machines and technology, right? It's like all these people are funding this innovation and there are people starving all over the fucking world. And they're just like mind blown. Like, what is that? What the fuck is that? How are there billions of dollars going into these companies to make these things that don't require healthy air and water and food, right? Machines, like you're going to give money to creating machines. You're giving money to create like AI. You're investing in all this technology that's not living and breathing and requiring food, clothing, shelter, and water. They're like, what the fuck? And so that's the biggest wake up call of just like, they're showing like those people hoarding all their money and they're like, ooh, like, let me get in on this like achievement of innovation and like history. And I'm a good person because I'm investing my money in this and whatever. And it's like, there are fucking starving people all over the world. There are people that don't have homes. There are people that don't have fresh water, clean water, no food. Like, it's just like, they're just like mind blown. What the fuck? Like, that's your biggest problem with money, is that you're putting money into shit that is completely unnecessary. And they're also saying that like, yeah, okay, it's cool. Like innovation is cool, but you are just continuing to like rape the earth of all of its resources and completely turn a blind eye while the world is on fire. And you're like, let's invest in all this modern technology, but let's not take care of the planet. Like, they're showing that like your food sources, like our food sources, our resources is the land. It is the land. Our food, our water, our natural shelter, like all of those things like comes from this world, the earth. And they're just like, why? Like, are you kidding me? Like, why are you not investing in replenishing and nourishing the earth, the planet, your sources of food? And they're like, okay, like you want to invest in all this modern technology, dumbasses, but like, are you going to eat fake food in the future? Like, you're going to make like manufactured fake food? Like, that's not meant for a human body. It's not meant for a human body for us to not have real nourishing food of the earth, because we are natural, we are of this earth, and everything that's like grown in the earth is supposed to be, you know, appropriate for our health and our well-being, right? The right foods, the right plants, etc. They're just like, what the fuck? Like, this is a direction, this is a trajectory that is like no joke, like the worst case scenario, like the worst thing for humanity. They're kind of like all these like douchebag tech giants, whatever, like they're like, fucking stop investing in this shit and start donating your money to farmers, to agriculturists, to the indigenous, to people who work on the land, to people who replenish the soil, to people who are planting trees, to people who are feeding the homeless, to people who are creating housing for the homeless, for people who are trying to clean water. I'm getting chills up my legs so bad. Like those billions and trillions of dollars should be going to the people and the land and natural things, natural mode, not fucking modern technology. I'm getting like such a big, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And they're saying like strip to nothing. And they're just like cost of living, higher, 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 higher. And it's like, they're like, people are killing off humanity. Going to. And they're like, is money worth it? Like, is your money worth it? And like, they're showing like these like modern buildings in the future and like desert everywhere. And like very few people on the planet, or like no people on the planet. And it's like you're gonna destroy the planet and none of you are gonna be here anyway. Like, and you're not gonna be here. Like, you're gonna kill yourselves. Like, you're gonna kill yourselves off. They're like, that's what you're doing. Like, that's what you're doing. Like, they're like, great achievement, check. Like, fear of God. They're like, fear yourselves. Fear yourselves. And they're just like, wake up call. Like, if you have a fuck ton of money, like, give the money to like feeding the poor, like food, shelter, water in like impoverished areas all over the world. Like, you do not need all that money, and is not going to save you from your sins, is what they're saying. It's not going to save you from shit that you've done. If you think you're a bad person, if you have hidden secrets, your money is not going to save your ass. You go to the grave with your soul. You will go to the grave. You will go into the afterlife with the pain and suffering that you caused on others. And that has nothing to do with your external world. That has nothing to do with your riches. That has nothing to do with your material, your finances, you know, the gold opulence of your mansions and shit like that. At the end of the day, your soul is you, and that's going with you. You're never going to escape that. And so they're saying you might as well like give back. You might as well like purge and release, like give away, volunteer, charity, donate, all the things, like support the world. And then they're like, and then you will die in peace, knowing that you felt fulfilled in your heart and that you truly contributed to the world in great, they're saying like mass scale. So if you've got a lot of money and you know what you need to support yourself, however you want to do that, you've got extra over there, they're just like, give it away. People really need it. Stop hogging it. Boo. Okay. So that was the Akashic Records on money. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'm gonna go process some of that and go chill out because I got a big wave of that last message. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach out to me, leave comments below. You could hit me up on Instagram, _hey_clarity_. If you want a personal session, book a one-on-one session with me through heyclarity.com. And if you want to learn how to do this yourself, I can teach you. I teach intuition, the Akashic Records, and mediumship so that you can have these sources of higher perspective and support and guidance for the rest of your life. Anytime, anywhere. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.